بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. Today is Sunday, the 4th of April 2021, and in our series, Call of the Messiah, this is the 33rd broadcast. And in its sub-series, Refuting Qadianis, this is the 12th broadcast. I'm sorry. This is the Lahore Ahmadiyya community. I apologize to our listeners on the radio that broadcasting hadn't started when I started speaking on the on live stream. As I said, this is Sunday, 4th of April 2021, and 33rd broadcast in our series Call of the Messiah, and in the sub-series Refuting Qadianis, this is the 12th broadcast in that series. In this, I will show from the will of the promised Messiah that his Khalifa that he appointed to run the Jamaat after him was the Anjuman, a committee of 14 people, and not an individual. Last week I challenged Qadianis that they say they regard everyone who recites the kalima to be a Muslim. So I challenged them. I said, if that is true, then I announce that I regard you as Muslims. So send me an invitation inviting me or the Amir of our Jamaat, more appropriately, the Amir of our Jamaat, Dr. Abdul Karim Saeed, to lead you in prayer. We'll be there. We won't ask you to spend any money. Will you do it? Let us see. You haven't done it for a week. So today's challenge is for the Qadiani Jamaat to produce a single statement from Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib's books, which says that after him there will be a khilafat. Remember, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib claimed to be the Mujaddid, the reformer of the 14th century of Hijr. And he taught us that the Holy Prophet was the last prophet. And after him, no prophet can now come, whether an old prophet or a new prophet. And he said that although people say Ayah Rajam and Surah Walayat are missing from the Holy Quran, nothing is missing from the Holy Quran. He said, although people say parts of the Holy Quran are abrogated, nothing in the Holy Quran is abrogated. And that jihad, he said, the Holy Prophet said that jihad, fighting with your own self, is jihad akbar. An external jihad, the worldly jihad, is jihad asghar. These are the words of our beloved Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, Let us go to Hazrat Saab's books and see who he appointed to run the organization after him. The first thing I want to share with you is, and I apologize to you for having too many windows open this Sunday. So this is, let's have a look. You will see here Al-Wasiyya, his will. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib's will. Page 325 of Ruhani Khazain, printed by the Qadiani Jamaat. And this is an appendix or an addendum to him, Hazrat Saab's will. So let's see what he says in Rule 13. Rule 13. Here it says, because the Anjuman is the successor, Jadishin, of the Khalifa appointed by Allah. That is why the Anjuman should be free from worldly colors, and all its dealings, all its matters should be clear and just. Here he says, because Anjuman is the Janishin, is the successor of the God-appointed Khalifa. Who was the God-appointed Khalifa? That was promised Messiah. That was Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad himself. Some people debate the use of the word Janishin here. And they say it means this and it means that and so on and so forth. So let me take you to a standard dictionary. There was a gentleman called Abdul Haq, and he is known as the father of modern Urdu. So here is his dictionary. It says Standard Urdu English Dictionary, Abdul Haq Babai Urdu, father of Urdu language. So let us see what meaning this person gives to this word Janishin. We don't have to argue about it, what it means, what it doesn't mean, this, that, and so on. Let's ask an independent person and see what he says. If I can find, where's the word gone? Here we are. This is English to Urdu. We look at the word successor, noun, and on the right-hand side, waris, janishi. So the Standard Urdu English Dictionary says Janishin means successor. So why should we take someone else's view of what this word means? And here then the S states, succession states, and it says Janishin Riaste, Janishin, the one who succeed. And then it says Janishini, succession Janishini, Silsilawar, successive one after the other, and so on. So Janisheen means successor. So that statement by Hazrat Sahib, because the Anjuman is the successor of the Khalifa appointed by God. Anjuman is the successor, not some individual. And in this context, let's look at the next rule, which is again made a joke in trying to twist its meaning. And it says, it shall be allowed that to support and help this Anjuman in far-flung countries, there should be other Anjumans who are under its instruction. And it is allowed that if they're in such a country that it's difficult to bring the dead body for burial in Qadian, then they should be buried in that country, and so on. But then he goes on to say, if someone has left in his will something for the Anjuman, and Hazrat Sahib says, that willed inheritance, it will be the Anjuman's task, which is in that country, to take control of that willed inheritance. And the best thing will be that such money should be spent in that country for their religious needs. But it's lawful if there is a need that that money should be sent to the center. Now, management of the cemetery certainly is one part of the duties. But to say that that is the only task entrusted to it, here Hazrat Sahib says, it's this Anjuman's duty to take control of the willed assets and to spend that on the religious needs in that country. Is being buried after dying the only need that needs to be thought of? But then we have rule number 16. In this Anjuman, and then remember Qadianis say that Anjuman just means an Anjuman that will manage the cemetery. Arrange for the grass to be cut and for the land to be weeded, and if a tombstone's fallen, then for it to be repaired and so on. But the rule says, in this Anjuman, there should at least, as a minimum, be 2 members who know in depth the Holy Quran and Hadith, and who know and who have knowledge of Arabic, and who are well versed in the books of this organization. Now, if this Anjuman is only going to arrange for grass cutting and weeding and tombstone repair and burials in a cemetery, why does it need at least 2 people who know in depth the Holy Quran and Hadith, and who have knowledge of Arabic language, and who know fully the books of the Jamaat? It is sad to see that, just to support just to support the unsupportable doctrine. Hazrat Sahab's words are twisted. And no thought is given to the fact that these sort of things, these sort of actions bring him into disrepute. Let us see, after Hazrat Sahab, Maulana Nuruddin took up the leadership of the Jamaat. Now, Qadianis always tell us that we must obey the Khalifa. And in religious matters, the Khalifa cannot make a mistake. So let us see what Maulana Nuruddin said about how he became the Khalifa. And that will give you some idea of how Hazrat Sahab's instructions are distorted. This is a speech that Maulana Nuruddin made. I'll give you its date in a minute. It says, there is a point of spiritual excellence in the writings of Hazrat Sahib. This is Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, which I explained to you clearly. Whoever was going to be made Khalifa, that was left to God. But 14 people were told that collectively you are the Khalifatul Masih. 14 people. That is the Anjuman. That you are the successor of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Your decisions will be absolute and they will be binding so far as the government is concerned. Then cause those 14 unanimously to take an oath of obedience and allegiance on the hand of one person and said, you appoint him, you accept him as your Khalifa. That is how you were united. Then, not only those 14, but the whole community agreed on my Khilafat. So what's Hazrat Sahib saying? That Hazrat Mirza Ghulam, what's Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin saying? Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, Maulana Nuruddin saying, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said to 14 people that collectively you are my successor. Those 14 people was the Anjuman. They constituted the Anjuman. And your decisions would be absolute and binding. Then took those 14 and got them to take an oath on one person. That you 14, the Khalifa appointed by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad voluntarily said to Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin that we are taking your back, we accept you as our leader. This is how you were united. And then after that, not only the 14, but the whole community agreed upon my Khilafat. So here's Maulana Nuruddin clearly saying that if 14 people collectively were appointed as the Khalifa, as the successor by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and those 14 unanimously decided that they were going to ask Maulana Nuruddin to take this role. And he says, this is how I was appointed the Khalif. Is this what is done now? Or do we have a system under which paid employees of the organization are asked to elect a new Khalifa? This is from the newspaper Badr, which was the community's newspaper, volume 8, issue number 52, dated 21st of October 1909. Now, I have shown you Hazrat Saab's writing saying that his Janisheen, his successor, is the Anjuman. We have Hazrat Saab's writing which says that whatever the Anjuman decides by a majority must be considered to be the correct decision. Number 2, we have the speech made by Maulana Nuruddin, who clearly says that 14 people were collectively appointed the successor of the promised Messiah. Those 14 people constituted the Anjuman. And those 14 people who had been given the right to decide all matters of the community decided that they hand over their authority to Maulana Nuruddin and consider him to be the Khalif. The same Anjuman rejected Mian Mahmud. The same Anjuman rejected Mian Mahmud. Now, I've shown it to you, and Mian Mahmud said in 1922, there is no khilafat in the Jamaat, and we have to create one. Now, I have shown you from Al-Wasiyat, Hazrat Saab's will, that Anjuman will be the successor of Hazrat Mirza Saab. I've shown it to you from a speech by Maulana Nuruddin, which says that the Prophet Messiah said these 14 people are collectively the successor to Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And I've shown you in an earlier broadcast that Mian Mahmud Ahmad Sahib himself said that Khilafat is not included in the fundamental principles of the Jamaat, and we need to create a Khilafat in the Jamaat. Now, my challenge to the Qadiani Jamaat is, please show us where Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad has said in his writings that after him there will be a Khilafat, a personal Khilafat, an individual who will do as he pleases. And of course, the earlier challenge that I laid last week, the Qadiani Jamaat says they don't pray behind non-Ahmadis because non-Ahmadis call them kafirs. Well, I've declared you a Muslim, both on radio and on video, for 2 weeks. And I've said, that being the case, you should have no objection to praying behind me. So please arrange for your Khalifa Sahib to invite me, or better still, invite Hazrat Dr. Abdul Karim Saeed, the Amir of our Jamaat, and we will come. We will come to your masjid and we lead the prayers there. Will you do it? Will you do it? I look forward to your reply in this matter. With that, our broadcast today comes to an end, with an apology that for the video viewers, that because I had too many windows open, I had to mess around a little bit. But I hope you actually saw the original books and extracts and so on, to see that I was quoting from Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin Sahib himself. With the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, goodbye.